Hello, Be the Bridge community. This is Latasha Morrison, founder and CEO of Be the Bridge. I just wanted to come on here and just share my heart in a brief statement, just where we are as a country and then also an organization. First, I want to acknowledge that there's a lot happening. What's happening is, maybe painful for a lot of people. It's challenging. A lot of our families are and friends are being impacted by decisions that are being made. There are real implications that are happening, not just for our families, but also for Be the Bridge. This work that we do is not really accepted by the community, by several communities, and by this government. We understand the fear that many are feeling. We want to acknowledge that and sit in that. We understand what you're going through. We also want you to know that we are here. This is what Be the Bridge was built for. We started in 2016. We built a community around people's uncertainty. And so this is a time where many people are uncertain and they're looking for a community. The next thing is awareness in brown faces, white spaces. I have this statement that says I was the first person in my immediate family tree to be born with a full set of protections under the United States Constitution. I'm only one generation removed from those that were born into segregation. And so we want to be aware of that. And so we are feeling this tension of I've never been here before. And for many of us, our relatives, they've been here before. They've seen worse. But we, a lot of Gen X people, we've never been here before. We've never seen, protections that we had when we were born actually removed in our lifetime. These struggles that we face are not novel. You see, they're part of a cycle, a pattern that happens over generations. I think back to Reconstruction. And Reconstruction happened after enslavement for about 10 years, where you see this progression of people of color, specifically African American people that had been enslaved. You see this progression of them building and being able to be reconnected with family in the South, not living under terror or fear or enslavement. And you see this progress of people entering into Congress. And this was a group of people that were deemed as cattle and property, but had agency now. So you see this progress happening. And then after the Hayes Compromise, you see the progress in the South was stripped away. And you can count this even after the civil rights movement. We see this where we take maybe 10 steps forward and then 5 steps back, or, 3 steps forward and 1 step back. And we're tired of that cycle and that pattern. But there's a lot of lessons that we've gained from our history, and it helps us to understand the time that we're living in now. First, history shows us resilience. Our ancestors were tested, but they were never defeated. From that perseverance, we draw our strength. We want to honor them by continuing their legacy. I had the opportunity doing the book tour with Brown Faces, White Spaces to honor those who have come before us that were born into segregation. And we will continue to do that and Be the Bridge. We will continue to remind our community that we are resilient and that we will not be defeated, that we are on the right side of history. Second, the work we've accomplished through the ages, that will remain intact. The work we have accomplished through the ages will remain intact. While some structures have been disrupted, we are nowhere near reverting to the past injustices like slavery or Jim Crow. And the third thing, after awareness and acknowledgement, the thing that we're going to need during this season is that of activation. Where do we find ourselves heading next as an organization? Where do we find ourselves heading next as a community? Be the Bridge's mission and vision remain steadfast. I want to say that again. Be the Bridge mission and vision remain steadfast. We will continue to empower people and culture toward racial healing, racial equity, and racial reconciliation, even when those things are not acceptable, because they are the right thing to do. This is holy work. This is righteous work. This is about biblical justice. And we will continue to remain steadfast in our mission and vision. We will continue to work to increase racial literacy and to pursue racial justice, because a part of the solution is education. And that is what we do. And we will continue to do that. For most of us, when we know better, we do better. And we've seen the impact of that throughout the years. There are many of you who started with us that did not understand, did not have historical context. Many of you were brought up in households where could not connect the dots, or where race was not talked about. There's many people of color who were raised in assimilated environments. And because of racial literacy, because of education, because of leaning into this conversation, you are no longer there. So the same that was done for you, remember that that could be done for other people too. So these are some things that I want you to do. Get involved in any way you can. We have to keep pressing Congress. We have to make sure that we're showing up. We have to make sure that we are filtering the information that's coming to us and looking to credible sources for our information. And I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine, and I just want to talk to you about this just a little. A friend of mine told me about a protest that was happening, and I actually told them, don't count on me to show up for a protest. We know that this fight for people of color will be different. It's not going to be protesting. It is not safe. There have been, if you've been following the executive orders that have been passed, there have been some executive orders for martial law. So we know that we have to play this in a strategic manner. So it is going to be up to our brothers and sisters, our white brothers and sisters, to hold the line as it relates to protesting. My presence showing up could bring about violence. And that is not something that we would like to do. We don't want that to happen. So if you're white, show up and protest. But don't think ill of your brothers and sisters of color because we're not there. Just know that we are protecting ourselves, our community, our family. During this season, we will continue to build. We will be launching an app. We have our own online community that we're building. And so you'll find out more information about that as we move forward. So we want you to build. There's going to be so much innovation and creativity that comes out of this season in the desert, in the wilderness. Not only our faith will be built, but there will be actual things that will help us thrive, not just survive, that will come out of this time. We want to make sure that all the things that, is happening in our society, the withholding of funds from organizations, there are great nonprofits out there that are doing great work, but a lot of the funds are going to be withheld. If you have the ability to give more than what you would normally give, so these organizations can be sustainable during this time. We want to continue to withhold. We want to make sure that we're putting the economic pressure on. Here at Be the Bridge, we are also participating in the Target Ban. We encourage you to find things, the little things that you can do. The collective little things make a large impact. And most importantly, we want you to continue to connect in community. Collective community will be a lifeline during this season. And when you see posts and educational videos that come about, the other thing that you can do is you can share those videos, you can save them, and you can repost them. This will be impactful so that the right information is getting to people. So those are just a little bit of activation that you can do during this season. You want to get involved any way that you can. And these are just a few steps onward for Be the Bridge. If you want to find out more information, you can visit our website at bethebridge.com, where you'll find resources that will help you through this season, including the Be the Bridge Academy. Our academy offers various pathways and courses for learning and healing, including a new race, foster care, and adoption series, and a course on history and white supremacy. This will help give you context to where we are and how we overcome this oppressive system. We want you to re-engage in your Be the Bridge community. Like I said before, community is so important during this desert season. And if you haven't, make sure you register your group with us, because there will be a lot of information coming out in the next few months. And you want to make sure that you have a registered community group where you can remain in connection with people, where you can lament together, you can hope together, you can encourage one another, and leverage your collective voices for good. And here's another thing that you can do as it relates to activation. You can start a book club. You can start a book club with my new book, Brown Faces, White Spaces. And you can also join our Be the Bridge book club, which will be coming soon. In our book club, we will explore various authors and titles related to racial literacy. And last, you can contact us about our trainings for faith-based and value-based organizations, churches, and other groups. If you want to know more about training, how do I, really lean into this and make sure that my community is educated on what's happening, that my church or my organization or my nonprofit is aware of the trainings? How can I do that? You can email training@bethebridge.com for more information. One of the other things that you can do is subscribe to the Be the Bridge podcast. Make sure you subscribe, you listen, you save, and you share what is happening on the podcast. So stay tuned for the Be the Bridge app and our new online community group. And these are just some ways that you can stay active. These are some points that you can do to make sure that you are doing your part. And like I said, there's a lot of organizations doing a lot of things, but it just takes an organization to do your little part. And of course, you can give to Be the Bridge at bethebridge.com. Give. This will help us continue to create resources, to manage our academy, to pay our incredible staff, to continue the research that we're doing, and to be a safe and courageous space for those of you that are seeking deeper strives into racial literacy. And, with monthly recurring donations, we can sustain our work, and it allows us to plan with strategy and wisdom. And more importantly, we can pray. Earlier this year, we had several prayer communities online, and we're looking to do more of that, coming together as a community to pray. What enduring legacy we can craft for those who follow in these footsteps. This is not about what we're doing now, but this is about what we're leaving for the next generation. There was a bridge that was built for us that we are walking on now. And although that bridge has some bumps on it right now, we are going to persevere. We are going to be resilient, and we are going to remain steadfast and dependent on guidance by the Spirit to lead us in this next season of our country and our organization. So lock arms with us. Let's saddle up. We will not give up or give in. Thank you so much. And we look forward to enduring this journey with you.